It's hot. I'm just going to make a pop-out chat. Hello. Happy Friday. I saw Albert was first, so that's very important. And Pruda, so I will take her a photo real quick, which looks a little less hazy than my screen. Do a big one. The Vikings. Oh, it looks good. And I will send it, and then she will have it for you. And can you hear me okay, I'm assuming? Yep, I see that. Actually, there's a new thing with the microphone that shows me that it's working, so that's good. Okay, photo sent. Ta-ta-da-da. Okay, what do you do? Let me see. Good morning, Elmina. There's your friends are here. Cecilia and Alex are here, but because they're not in Viking clothes, they can't be on YouTube. So better. Too bad. Hey, Heidi Lisette, and hello, Karsten from Hamburg again. I suppose you have Doro with you. And Garcia's here. And Asylum Farm is here. Yay, happy Friday. And Charlotte is here. 19 there and dying. Really, it's only 19. It feels like 30 here, but I guess it's about, I think it was like 26 in the shade Celsius, so it's pretty hot. This is Norway. That's really hot. But I guess we're supposed to get slightly warmer next week. Maybe I should wear linen. This is wool. Not the best decision today. Let's see. And Peruta made it, of course. 31 degrees. She's slightly warmer where she's at. I can't even see you anymore because my glasses keep fogging up. And see if I can find the pop-up chat because it's only showing me the top ones. So what are you guys doing today? What are you working on? Live chat. There we go. Oh, yeah, there's a lot more chat now. Let's see. Albert says, remember to subscribe and like the stream. Oh, thank you. Yes, as soon as I get 1,000 subscribers, I think I have enough watchtowers, but I have to have 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watchtowers, and then I can walk around with the phone, which is much more fun. So there you go. Subscribe, even if you don't like me. No. Arlene is here. Good morning. I see. And there's Heidi again. And Laura. Hey, Gretian. I'm going to link it to YouTube. Prescription glasses. Hello, Laura. Greetings from Birmingham, Alabama, USA. Ah, cool. I am originally from Duluth, Minnesota, which is why I have this outrageous accent. But this is obviously not Minnesota. This is Gudvangen, Norway. And Mary Danny is also new to this needle binding. Well, then I will show you what I made. I'm still pulling the twigs out from in front of the camera, though, because I found a place to sit in the grass. Carl's going to be joining us soon, so if you have any fun things you want him to talk about, throw it in the chat. He's the Viking history god. He can tell you some stories. I think we were talking about kings of Norway. We did Harald the Fine Hair, or Harald Hårfagre, last time he was here. Do we have all the grass out of the way now? Can you see me? Nell, yarns arm, wardenting, not too many mosquitoes, and willing and all binding needle. I actually did some plant dyeing today. I did stinging nettles, so green. So it's very thin yarn though, so we're using it for, those are going in the shop to embroider with, little embroidery skeins. So this is how far I got. If I can find myself. Just in time for the summer. It's a little bit, it's made a little bit for somebody a little thinner than me, because most people are. So, but it's starting to pop up. So if it does that too much on people, then I'll just, no, it stays. It hasn't been ironed yet though. But most people are a little bit more narrow here than I am. So hopefully it'll still fit. But that's Kristin's woad. The color is kind of showing up pretty well though. It's a little hazy on my screen, but up the brightness. And it's finished 2+2, or if I turn it that way, it'll look more familiar because the end is still on. So I hope I don't have to cut it to get it to lay flat, but we'll see. I'm increasing again as it goes. It's now here, so I have to increase again. That's why it's flipping up. But I have only this much wool left to use, so I can do it. I love this blue. And she dyed more, but fortunately the wool is a lot thinner that she dyed because it's a nice dark blue indigo. I need that. So we have a lot of Vikings coming. We have a little stash over there. Wodvinka? Wodvinka? Look what I made with your wool. Here comes Kristin. I only have this much left now. I should almost make you try it on though, because I am. I might, because you're shorter across the shoulders than I am. So it's flipping up on me because I didn't make it to fit me per se, but I'm hoping it'll fit more because it shouldn't be buckling up like this. Well, I have a necklace underneath. Let's see. You're thinner across the shoulders than I am.
You're sure?
No, but the other thing is, it's a beautiful hat. Look how gorgeous she is. Photo op. Just in time for this hot summery day.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was wondering why you didn't take the glasses off.
I don't know. Because I'm an idiot. Basically.
Yeah, otherwise I have to cut it. It's I can give you a microphone if you really want, but I suppose you're no, it's not laying back on you either. Nope. Even if I can pull it down a little bit, but still. Nope, that might be a very expensive kid thing.
Yep.
Or I cut it.
But it's a nice blue.
Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, no, actually I can do one other thing. I can cut it in the front.
Oh, you can do it, yeah.
I can cut it here and then just put a placket on to make it slightly bigger. There you go. I have a plan. So hopefully I didn't rub the microphone too much. Oh, Prude has got the link up of the photo. That's such a fun thing that she thought, oh my God, this look. There, I'm a little bit more put together now. And there's Doro, yeah. And greetings from Karsten. He's unable to attend. Actually, Karsten made it. I think those two need to talk. Or not, unless it's Karsten, Matthias, and Doro. We will find out. Mary Danny's new to needle binding, so this is not quite, this is actually, it's like Oslo, but you're using the last 4 loops instead of the last 2, but it's worked up the same way. So if you can get Oslo, you can get Mommen, and you can do finish 2+2 as well. Oh yeah, how long are people staying in the village? Those come on the weekends because they live not too far off, those 2 over there. All the houses are filling up this week. Some are here for, well, I'm here in and out the whole year. There's another one here that's all summer. There's 2 other ones that are here for 10 days. Some are here for until the 1st. The fighters that came, most of them are staying until the 1st. Kongs here den 1260. I found a Karl. I tried on my Nalbinding and it's too small.
What now?
I tried on my Nalbinding with the expensive woad yarn that Kristin dyed and it's too small. You know what this means?
Good news for one of your daughters?
No, it goes in the store. Good news for one of my daughters could be right. Oh, see, it's flipping up a little bit. But Kristin tried on it was too. If I iron it or steam it anyway, then it'll lay a little bit flatter. Yeah. I don't know, but it will fit a kid. Otherwise, I can cut it here and have a button up with a little piece on there. I have enough to maybe make a, I don't know, we'll see. I might have to buy another flippin' skein from Kristin. So I asked him to see if there was something. I have to take this off first. Holy crap. This was really not the thing to wear this today. This is Karl. If you haven't met him before, Mary Denny's from Arizona. She's brand new, so we have to say hi to new people. You should try make that way for the neck warmer pattern. Yeah, actually I could do that because I do have a cowl pattern. It's like at the very bottom of my Instagram, but yeah, one where it gets doctored and cut up. I think I'll do that, but I think I would do a different color here just because it's easier to gauge the wool if I have a whole new skein for the good idea. I think I will do that, Albert. And Robin's here. Greetings from Bergen. We'll be dropping by to eat and say hello on Sunday. Yay! Are you working on Sunday? Can you get your tour?
Probably. I have 1/3 of a chance. There will be 3 guys.
Yeah. So we can do that. Hi, your friend is online, but I said you can't be on YouTube unless you're Viking. Go away. No. She's wearing employee gear, though, so that kind of helps. Njardarheimer gear. You want to wave to Elmina? Nice croissant. Doro and Albert and others are saying hello to you.
Hello.
And Roxy, we are on our way. Yay! More people. Charlotte says she hopes to get there soon in a weekend, but she's on vacation from 2nd of August. So she will tell me. And Julie Miners is coming. I see her in there as well. She's learned tablet weaving. Oh, she's hoping to learn tablet weaving. We should be able to get something like that started. Kristin's here all summer, and she teaches it as well. She will just miss the live stream. Oh, no, because we could have put her in there. But actually, in July, we'll be on Saturdays, I think. We didn't actually... I think that was the plan, that we would do YouTube on Saturdays in July and put the other...
We probably have already written it on the
schedule,
plan paper thingy.
We just haven't submitted it. Okay, so they're better yet. So what should we make Karl talk about? Well, I can do some more needle binding. We were talking about kings. We were talking about Harald Hårfagre last time. Hailed the fine hair. Or not last time, but 2 weeks ago when you were here. And there's more kings than that.
Okay, I can do a quick summary of all the kings in the Viking Age, but then I have to be really quick, and most of these deserve at least a full YouTube episode to themselves. But
we could do it. Greg's busy today, so
if I start with the last guy that wasn't a king, Halfdan the Black.
Oh, we're at school now, Elmina.
Listen up. He got his name because of his hair color. He had black hair and probably a beard. And he is the father of Harald Finehair. He dies when he goes through the ice because he didn't understand physics good enough to understand that horse manure on ice is not something that makes the ice safer. So he dies.
This might be his
son
king.
takes over when he is very young. But thankfully, a brother of his father, a guy called Guttorm, acts as his general and is acting on behalf of the kid until the kid comes of age enough to do it on his own. And he, Harald the Finehaired, is the first true king of Norway. He probably didn't control all the territory that is considered to be Norway now, because the Danish were really powerful and they really liked the southern and eastern part of Norway. But the western and northern part he certainly controlled. And he considers himself king of the Norwegians. And as time goes by, it's kind of debated how long the collection of Norway took. Some people say it wasn't done until Harald Hardrada's time. And he is the last one I'm going to be talking about today. When he dies, he leaves behind himself a lot of sons. One of these sons, his favorite and hitman, the psychopath Erik Bloodaxe, is a very interesting character, and I want to read up a lot more on him before I go into detail.
Oh, cool.
But apparently, he becomes king of Norway. He's king of Norway for only a very short period of time because, well, Bloodaxe, it's not somebody you want around a lot.
I'm trying to blood axe you.
He is a very unstable character, and he has also, before he even becomes king, he has killed 2 of his own brothers. And kinslaying is not something. Well, if somebody kills their brothers, what the hell are they going to do to you? So he was considered so unstable that when Harald Hardrada's much nicer son, Håkon the Good, comes along, they just chase Erik Bloodaxe away. Erik Bloodaxe has a very interesting life after he was king of Norway and is king of Northumbria for a while. But he, among other things, is the first Norwegian king to ever strike his own coins. Because the Norwegian uses silver as a bullion economy. They know the value of silver, but they have seen no point in coins because to them, money, wealth, should be shown on your body. And they find coins, mostly Arabic and Byzantine, from the early Viking Age. They have either punched holes in them to use them as pendants, or they have welded little loops on them to just hang them around their neck. So they consider coins a very unpractical form of jewelry, basically. But Eric, since he is king of Northumbria, and the English have been using coins since the Roman age, and he is also dealing with Arabs and Byzantines who have a long tradition of using coins, he decides to strike his own coins. He is king of Northumbria. In reality, that basically means that he is king of York and some nearby farms. But he strikes his own coins with the inscription Eric Rex, Eric the King. Not as impressive as it sounds, but still he is the first king to strike his own coins.
We have to interrupt 1 second. Say hi to your sister before you go.
Hello, my sister, before you go.
It's Bruna. And you've got your axe. We're talking about Eric the Blood Axe. So.
Oh. Yeah, this is not bloody.
Oh, no. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Håkon the Good is a nice guy, and he is also the first Christian king of Norway. But he doesn't really do much in the sense of mission work because he's too nice. He doesn't really want to force his religion on everybody else. It's almost the other way around, because his strongest supporters live in Trøndelag. That's where Rune is from, by the way. And they are the strongest supporters of the pagan faith we have in Norway. And they are not really feeling comfortable with this Christian guy as their king. The problem is that the alternative is the sons of Eric Blood-dyed. It's like 4 guys who are even more Christian than Håkon the Good, and also mildly evil. So they decide that Håkon the Good is the lesser evil, but it would be really nice if we could convince him to be a good pagan like us. So in the middle of the winter, they just kidnap him and drag him with them to the midwinter blot. And here is this interesting sequence of events. He is really angry about this, but he really needs these people to help him fight against the sons of Eric. So he doesn't really want to pursue this kidnapping. The people who kidnapped him is also starting to feel a little bit bad because he is not cooperating. They just want him to take part in the blot, the midwinter ceremony. So he has this guy who acts as a go-between and runs between the farmers who kidnapped him and the king, and trying to basically work this out. So Håkon the Good says, okay, you kidnapped me, you brought me here, I'll sit here through your ceremony, and then I'll go back and then we don't talk more about it. And this go-between goes to the farmers and says, okay, he is willing to sit here. Is that acceptable to you? Is that enough? And they go, no, we think he should take part in the ceremony at least. So this go-between guy goes back to the king and says, okay, they really, really want you to take part in the ceremony. And he says, okay, but I'm not drinking from the horse blood or eating the horse meat or any of that thing. So eating horse meat and drinking horse blood seems to be an important part of a blood ceremony. So they say, okay, that's acceptable, but at the very least, he has to put his lips to the bowl when we send it around. And the king says, okay, that's acceptable, let's just get it over with. But when they send this bowl around, the king gets it, he puts his handkerchief on top of the bowl, so it's very obvious that not even a drop of horse blood is going anywhere near his lips. And they don't like that, but okay, let it pass. But when he sends the bowl away, he does this. And this makes them flip. You really don't do that during a pagan blot. So swords start to come out, but this go-between guy is between them and says, stop, stop, stop. No, it was the hammer of Thor. It was not the cross. It was the hammer of Thor. And I go, yeah.
I'm not falling for that?
Okay. I don't think they fell for it. And I don't think the king really liked that he claimed it. But both parties just pretend it didn't happen. Håkon the Good might even have converted back to paganism at the end of his life, because there is a burial mound that he might be buried in. Buried in a mound, then either they're completely ignoring his wishes or he went back to paganism. When he dies, these 4 sons of Eric Blood-dyed takes over. The chief among them was Harald Greycloak. And he was basically mostly famous for wearing a fake skin in the middle of summer in Oslo. So let's take
Really?
his predecessors. Harald the Finehair didn't comb or cut his hair for like 20 years. Håkon the Good was a genuinely nice guy his entire life. Erik the Blood-Axe kills 2 of his brothers. And this guy is wearing uncomfortable clothing. He might also have been kind of Norway's first trendsetter. Because there was this, Kristin can explain this a lot better, but there was this way of making fake furs.
Oh, I
with
know the one.
wool.
Yeah. Yeah, you. It's almost like thrumming. When you have the fibers in here, you take the wool and you lay it this way. It as like you lay it like this between the fibers, and then you weave the next row and it pushes it down.
Mm.
There, I taught you something. Okay. Continue.
So the story goes that you had this Icelandic trading ship that had a full cargo of these things. And they were planning to get to Oslo in the middle of winter when there actually would be some demand for them. But because of the civil war going on between the sons of Erik the Blood-Axe and Håkon the Good, they get delayed by about half a year. So they come to Oslo in the middle of the summer, or Viken as it was called then. And obviously they can't sell these things because people are hot. They don't want the skin. But Harald, son of Erik, really loves Icelandic people because they have the best storytellers and the best poets. So when he sees an Icelandic trading ship, he just runs over to it and starts talking with the crew. And then he does it for so long that he starts to feel bad because they can't sell their wares because the king is just standing around and wasting their time. So he buys one of these fake furs and throws over his shoulders, and everybody else goes, what's he doing now? Has the king lost his mind? It's in the middle of the summer. This is very hot. Well, he's the king. So everybody goes and buys these things, and they sell out their entire stock in just a few hours. And everybody is walking around being really uncomfortable in the Oslo sun. And he was Norway's first trendsetter.
With fake furs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After him, the Danish king, I don't remember the Danish kings, so one of them, Bluetooth, Forkbeard, or one of the other guys, becomes king of Norway. But while this has been happening, Håkon the Good's old allies, the Earls of Lade, have been working in the wings because they really didn't like the sons of Gunhild. And they have ended up kind of allying with the Danish king. And one of these, a really interesting character called Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl, he really wants to be king of Norway. The way Snorri tells this story makes the Danish sound incredibly stupid, but that doesn't mean it isn't true. So the way Snorri tells this story is that he travels to Denmark. First, he lobbies with the Danish king a lot about, yes, you are a very powerful king, but you would be a more powerful king if you had a subordinate king. You had a king that was under you. So how about you give Norway to your brother? Just give him a proper army. He can go and take Norway, no problem. They've had civil wars for like forever. There will be no resistance. So you can make him king of Norway. The Danish king basically goes, yeah, no, that sounds like a good plan. So he makes his brother king of Norway. And then Håkon starts going, your brother up in Norway, don't you think he might be conspiring against you? He has all these ships now, and he's almost as powerful as you. Obviously, you can't kill him. That would be kinslaying. But if you gave me an army, I could maybe do something about it. So he gets the Danish king to supply him an army, and then he goes and murders the brother of the Danish king, and he makes himself king of Norway. And the Danish king thinks this is terrific. He doesn't understand that he has been manipulated at all. And then Denmark is attacked by Otto II of the Holy Roman Empire. He probably forces the Danish to turn to Christianity. Snorri tells this story in a kind of different way. He talks about the magical jewel, kind of like the one in the Old Testament between Moses and magician of the pharaoh. But what happens in this one is that a Sideman turns his staff into a snake. Very biblical.
What's the Sideman again?
It's a magician, Norse magician type person. But a bishop or a monk carries white hot iron in his hands without getting burned. And the Danish king considered that more impressive than the snake thingy. So he converts to Christianity. But here, this completely breaks whatever kind of loyalty Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl had to him. They fought as allies when they fought against the attacks of Otto II. But as soon as he turns to Christianity, Håkon says, oh yeah, no, that sounds super fine. And the Danish king goes, well, of course, Norway also has to be Christian. Oh yeah, no problem. So here are some priests and monks. Just take them to Norway, start building churches, and we'll turn Norway Christian too. Sir, yes, sir, I'll do that immediately, sir. Obviously, he doesn't. As soon as the Danish king is out of sight, he just throws all the monks and priests overboard. And then he starts plundering Denmark from one end to the next before he flees back to Norway. This obviously ticks off the Danish king no end. So he decides that, well, two can play this game. So the next summer, he plunders Norway from the southern tip at Lindesnes and up to the Stad Peninsula. When he is up at Stad, and this is a very weird story that you would expect from an Icelander like Snorri. When they're up at Stad, they basically decide that, okay, we are so far north now that we could actually invade Iceland if we wanted to. And a few years earlier, an Icelandic trading ship had run aground on Denmark, and the Danish people had basically declared this to be a wreck that nobody owned, so they just took all of it. And the Icelandic crew was really annoyed, and they used many years to get back to Iceland, and then they told about how the Danish stole their ship. And Altinget at Iceland gives a very interesting decree. They basically order every boat, the skald. I told you about how Iceland had the best poets. So this is actually a powerful weapon back in the Viking Age. They order everybody, every skald on Iceland has to make a nidvise, an insulting song or piece of poetry about the Danish and their king every day from now until the Danish pay restoration for the ship. And the problem here is that their poets are really, really good. So some of these stories were probably about as catchy as pop music is these days. Phenomenon. So they are kind of sticking to your brain in the same way that bloody song does. I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Do we need shelter? It's raining, so I put the needle bind to cover the keyboard, but where the sound is coming from here anyway. But do we need shelter, or do you like getting wet?
I like getting wet.
Let's get wet.
So these poems and songs start spreading everywhere, and since everybody in this general North Sea area speaks Old Norse, they're probably annoying the living bejesus out of the Danish king.
Yeah.
So when he gets up to the Stad Peninsula, that's a little bit north of the middle of the Norwegian coast.
Sorry.
He decides, and here the story takes a turn for the really weird. He decides to tell his Sideman, his magician, you go ahead and scout Iceland and find out if we can go and get them. And he says, sir, yes, sir. And then he jumps overboard and he shapeshifts into a whale and he swims to Iceland. And then he comes back and tells the Danish king that, no, we cannot take Iceland. It's impenetrable. They have dragons in the north, they have trolls in the south, they have elves in the east and dwarves in the west. They are completely protected by the supernatural. There is nothing to be done here. And the Danish king says, okay then. And then they just plunder the coast of Norway again on all the way back. And while all of this is happening, Håkon Sigurdsson is sitting in Trondheim and going, whew. Obviously,
Hi.
this story might be true and it might be untrue.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But if I can offer a potential theoretical solution here, because the Stad Peninsula is where I'm from, so I know what the local geography looks like. There is a lot of islands, and some of them are used for sheep and that sort of thing. So I'm guessing this Sideman just jumped into the sea, swam to the nearest islands, poached sheep for a couple of weeks, and then swam back and told the entire story, just to save himself an unnecessary trip to Iceland. Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl is king of Norway, and he spends a lot of time and energy burning Danish things. Then Olav Tryggvason, Olav, son of Tryggva, a descendant of Harald the Finehaired. He has been living as a Viking. He's a true Viking. He's almost, so the way it's described in the sagas, he's almost like a Superman. He climbs mountains for fun. He dances on the oars outside of the ship.
I know people like this.
He jumps into the air, catching incoming javelins, turn them around, and throw them back at the people who threw them. He is...
A bit like Kirk Douglas in the, whatever that Viking movie was called.
No offense to Kirk Douglas, but if Kirk Douglas ever met Olav Tryggvason, that fight would be over in less time it takes to describe it.
Oh.
And he is, in the beginning, a pagan, but something happens to him in England, so he decides to turn to Christianity. After, among other things, plundering the English mint, so he is extremely rich. And he gets the English off his back by turning to Christianity, and then he decides to go to Norway and make Norway into a Christian country. This brings him on a direct collision course with Håkon Sigurdsson. But he comes as a pretty big surprise to Håkon Sigurdsson. So he is hiding in a pig pen with his favorite slave. Olav Tryggvason declares a pretty big bounty for the head of Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl. And his thrall, a guy called Kark, kills him in the pen.
Kark is also in Viking on the Norseman.
Olav Tryggvason does not honor his pledge here, because he considers the idea that a thrall should be loyal to his master as more important than the idea that he should actually pay what he promises to pay people. So when the thrall comes with the king's head, with the Jarl's head, Olav Tryggvason just has him executed too. Olav Tryggvason is married to a Danish princess called Tyra. And in Norway, there is a plant called kvam. It tastes like licorice. And
it's not anise, though, of course.
Yeah, it has the anise taste.
Yeah.
It has...
it's not
Angelica is the English name for it.
Oh, yeah. Good memory. Jeez.
And once, Olav Tryggvason is going home to his Danish princess, and he buys a stick of this Angelica on the market, and he gives it to her. This starts what's probably the most costly marital dispute in Norwegian history, because she uses this opportunity to basically piss all over him and go, yes, and I, as a Danish princess, are used to better gifts than this.
Oh, no, she didn't.
And Olav Tryggvason goes, I think I still don't have your dowry from your father, so I can go to Denmark and pick it up. Remember, this guy used to be a Viking. He is not super popular in this general area. He has a very big fleet, and he has probably the biggest single Viking ship of anybody, the Long Serpent Ormen Lange. But the problem with really big ships is that they can be kind of slow, particularly when you load them down with gold and silver. So the rest of his fleet sails away from him, and he is just stuck with 3 ships. Ormen Lange, the Long Serpent, Ormen Stutte, the Short Serpent, and another one, I don't remember its name. At a place called Svolder, and we don't know where this is. If somebody manages to find out,
it's probably near Kattegat.
that would be a pretty that would be in that region. That would be a very interesting find, because here you have a great naval battle. They are attacked by the Danish king, the Swedish king, and another one of these Lade Jarl people, the son of Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl. So you have these 3 fleets fighting 3 ships. And as brave and competent as Olav Tryggvason is, there is really no way of winning this. So he is last seen grabbing a chest of gold and jumping into the water. Nobody finds his body, so he might be living happily on a Danish island as
Or
a
under
farmer
a
or
chest at the
something.
bottom of the ocean.
But I would find it extremely unlikely that somebody with his personality wouldn't resurface somewhere and try to become king of Norway. So when he dies, we are back to the Ladials for a while. Then we have another Christian king, Olav, son of Harald, Saint Olav. Olav the big one. He is probably kind of roundish or maybe straight up fat because his name was Olav Digre, which means Olav
the
huge.
Yeah.
And it's usually not meant as huge, it's meant as huge.
Oh, darn.
But it's hard to say. This guy was also a mercenary and a Viking before he found Christianity and becomes king of Norway. But he tries to become king of Norway in a period when the Danish kings are controlling Norway and they don't like him much. And it doesn't help that he has the opposite religion of most of the people. So he is killed in 1030 at Stiklestad by a big army of...
Stiklestad, is that near Stavanger?
No, it's near Trondheim.
I'm not even close. Oh, that's right. You said
so
earlier.
it would be a big army of rune-like creatures that basically murder him.
Does that sound about right, Heidi?
And when he dies, he is made almost immediately, it's like just 1 or 2 years after his death, he is made a saint of the Catholic Church. So Norway has these 3 Catholic saints, or that has to do with the Viking Age. You have Saint Halvard in Oslo, Saint Sunniva in Selja, and Saint Olav in Stiklestad.
And Selja is where you're from.
Yes. When Saint Olav dies, Norway goes back under Denmark. But when he becomes declared a saint, and the Danish kind of start to respect this, they reinstate, it's possible that they do it themselves, but his family, in the sense of Magnus the Good, is made king of Norway. Magnus the Good is Olav's half-brother, but Olav also have a nephew, a guy called Harald. Harald later gets the name Harada, and that's kind of an untranslatable thing.
Oh yeah, you were
because
talking about him last
it
time.
might mean two different but not fundamentally opposite things. Hard rada or roda, to rule in Norwegian, might also mean to advise. So a rådgiver is an advisor, and
I never put that together.
roda means ruling. So hard rada might mean hard ruler or hard to advise. Just too stubborn to listen to common sense. Just goes and does his own thing no matter what. And both of these things are pretty true for this guy. This guy has a fantastic story that I don't even have time to skim the top of.
Oh, but we have more. You can do more.
A kind of unstable little kid becomes a 15-year-old warrior that then becomes a refugee, that then becomes a mercenary, that then becomes a mercenary captain, that then becomes king of Norway, and then tries to conquer. Well, he burns a lot of towns because he likes Bergen for some reason.
Good for Charlotte.
And then he tries to become the conqueror of England, and by the slimmest of margins, he dies and does not become an emperor. But the story about him, I could talk about him for an hour. He is a very interesting guy.
I know what we have to talk about next
and
week.
His death at Stamford Bridge is considered the ending of the Viking Age. Obviously, Norway has a lot of weird characters as kings after this as well. And Norway's golden age is in the 1200s, before one Norwegian prince pretty much decides that, yeah, since I'm marrying a Danish princess, I might just as well move to Copenhagen. And that leads into 400 years under Denmark, then another 100 years under Sweden, then freedom, then 5 years under Germany, World War II, and then back to business as usual. Norwegian history in a nutshell, everybody.
I said freedom, I thought it was going to be Mel Gibson. You got some, yeah, so if you haven't figured it out, it started to rain, but we really didn't care, so hopefully my computer's not going to go on the fritz now.
Your computer is very wet.
My computer's very wet, but it looks like the lens is still dry, so I sort of rubbed it, but I can't see my screen anymore. It's covered in sprinkles. Runa Tobias is here, by the way. And I like what Joseph Kennedy says. The stories and yours. I have to rub the water off the screen. The stories and yourselves are still highly enjoyable. I hope to meet you if I ever take a vacation. We will be here waiting.
Yep.
Yep.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not going anywhere. I'll talk for story. Andrea's there. Yeah. And Peruta had a question as well. Oh, she also put a link for the fake fur thing. Who was your favorite king? And why? We're only at minute 40.
No, that's the thing. It's impossible to say because all of them have
Hey.
that charming little quirks.
I did not put together who would
as
draw
they
that.
are described in the story, I really like the tenacity of Harald the Finehaired.
Yeah.
The fact that Eric the Bloodaxe just can't stop. He just has to be king of something. I don't care what it is. I just want to be king. Håkon the Good is a genuinely nice guy. Harald Greycloak has a charming weakness for Icelandic poetry. Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl is a Machiavellian realpolitik type of person that probably would have scared the living bejesus out of the historical Niccolo Machiavelli. Olav Tryggvason is kind of like a Superman. The only one of these I can say I don't really like is probably Saint Olav, because he is too much of a religious fanatic from my taste.
Yeah.
In one of the stories about him, he is whittling on a stick, and it's on a Sunday, and all of his men knows it's on a Sunday, but nobody can really come up to him and say that because he is a kind of psychotic person. So one of them comes up with the good idea of just going to him and going, "It's Monday tomorrow, sir." And then he goes, "Oh, I've been working on the Sabbath." And to punish himself, he takes all the wood carving and puts it in his hand and puts fire to it and lets it burn to ash in his hand. These are people it's kind of hard to have a conversation with.
Another one was, which is your favorite saga? But actually, that one we might have to do for next week.
Harald Harada is my favorite saga.
We are having a Harald Harada.
He is also a Christian, but he doesn't seem to be as much of a fanatic. It takes a level of intensity that we are not used to in our days to basically be a leader of anything in the Viking Age. So even Håkon the Good, who is probably the nicest of all of these guys, his threshold for violence would be so low that even the most criminal gangs in Oslo or Bergen would have a, okay, calm the fuck down. You're an unstable person. But that's just the way things were back then.
But another one, what's the Yngling dynasty?
The Yngling.
Andrea wanted to hear more about that.
The Yngling dynasty is basically the family that at least Harald the Finehaired comes from.
The screen again.
And by extension, most of the other ones. I don't think the Ladians are part of this dynasty, but all of the other ones claim descent from Harald the Finehaired. And since he is of the Yngling dynasty, they would be also Ynglings.
Yeah.
Now we are very far into the realm of myth.
Ooh.
In the Ynglinga saga, in the beginning of the Snorre's Chronicle of Norwegian Kings, they trace the Ynglings all the way back to Odin.
So I couldn't needlebind in the rain because my wool was getting wet, but I made you a crown, oh King Karl. Isn't he pretty? You look like Jesus.
Yes. So are you planning to crucify me now?
It's got a tail, though. I made a tail on it. I think it looks good. Don't you think? You are now grass boy. The sheep will love you. They'll want to nibble on you. There's another one in there as well. Drea said it wants to, is it true that the christening of Norway was by force? Be baptized or die?
Yes, for the most part, yes. Not exclusively, but force was certainly a part of it. I showed you this place when we were up in Selja around Christmas.
Yeah, you did.
You saw the big stone cross
Monastery
on the top
thing.
of the mountain. No, not the monastery, the stone cross on the top of the mountain.
Oh, yeah, that, yeah.
On that cross, it says, at this place, Olav Tryggvason Christian 4 counties. And the way this worked was that he comes with his entire army at the thing, which is supposed to be peaceful. So nobody else have brought their armies. And then he just says, okay, baptism or fight. And they go, we didn't bring our army. And he says, oh, no problem, I brought mine. Baptism or fight. So they end up being baptized. There is kind of an interesting side character in his saga called Eyvind of Arvik. Basically a guy who used to be a thrall, who murdered his... the reason he was a thrall was illegitimate. So he murdered his master and basically just took over his farm. And he doesn't want to become a Christian because Christians have to confess things to priests. So he basically says to Olav Tryggvason, yeah, no, you probably just have to kill me because I have done things that I don't want to talk about. And Olav Tryggvason...
No dying.
Olav Tryggvason basically says, okay, I already know what you did, so it's no problem. Just go and become a Christian and everything is fine. And he just goes, well, okay then, fine. I'm reading between the lines that Olav Tryggvason used this as extortion to get him to go over to Christianity, but
Your crown, Jesus.
I don't know this. So yes, force was at least a very big factor when it comes to these two guys, Olav Tryggvason and Olav Haraldsson, Saint Olav. These are basically Vikings. And they are using Christianity as an excuse to become kings of Norway.
I feel like Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte says I need this hat. It's Tobias wanted to know if it was stuttering, so our stream might be stuttering a bit. I use my needle binding to keep the rain out of the computer because it's so thick.
The computer is so wet you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's. I could take a photo and send it.
I really hope that this computer can survive this.
Well,
if not, we would have to have a trip to Voss and buy a new one.
Oh crap! Because I'm rich and famous. Let's see. I can take a photo here. Whee!
I could probably afford it, but I don't want to have my reputation
if you really
besmirched
loved me.
with Macintosh.
There. Prudy can show you what it looks like. There were some more questions though. We're still with us anyway. Do I want any more raw wool in the village? Oh, and are we good? We have a lot of raw wool, but we'll always take more because we're sharing it with the Freeman. We just sheared our sheep though, so I have with out of our own.
I've seen what her apartment looks like. All she
Raw
has
wool.
In the form of yarn. You could probably restore like 19, 20 sheep.
We could clothe the world's children in 31-degree weather. Yeah, no, if you want to bring some, if you want to get rid of it, we can put it in the attic here. There's always, in the loft here, there's always Freeman coming for wool. So that is always a fun thing. Or we could do kids' projects with them too. You can make little bracelets and things. I've got plans. Oh, Rosanna's here. Maybe also buy a Viking computer tarp for the future. Yeah, put one right here. We didn't know it was going to rain, but you know, I got to say, it felt good though.
Oh yeah.
It was so hot. Vad sa du? Var det en kul krona? Ja, Veslemaj says he has a cool crown. Han ser ut som lite helligare dessa dagarna. He looks a little holier these days. Yayo Phil Slytherin. I like that. There was, let's see. I think I missed one or two more. There was a question about further up midwinter festivities. So we did have midsummer. I think that sometimes is that we're going to do that tomorrow because there's more people coming. Well, they're unpacking right now. They're putting up tents and things.
Why are you looking at me? I'm famously don't care about this kind of things.
Now, Anders is the one that was putting it together with, well, the group that's coming here is going to do a feast. But I think they did a little bit of he did a little midsummer festival or something, or midsummer ceremony on the 21st. Well, now I see why you didn't attend. I didn't attend either, though. But I think he put it up on his Instagram or something so you could see. But the day everybody burns stuff in Norway, that's sometimes fighting.
Oh, we are paramaniacs. We are country of paramaniacs. So we do that for sometimes and Ulsok. Olsok is the date of the Battle of Stiklestad, where St. Olav died. And that's also just an excuse to burn things.
Hmm.
I don't think people are celebrating it much these days, but I still did when I was a kid.
Ravenclaw. I'm Slytherin. You're a Ravenclaw. You were one bad decision away
I'm
from
a
being...
Hufflepuff.
You're a Hufflepuff. You're one bad decision away from being a Slytherin. Unfortunately, he went left. No, you went right.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you go left? It's more fun.
Because that's why lies communism.
Okay. Fruta says it might be bedtime for you because of the ceremonies. So
It
you're
might
not
be
going to the
bedtime.
ceremony tomorrow?
I don't go to ceremonies.
No, I don't go to ceremonies.
If somebody actually found out how the Vikings actually did it, then that would be very, very interesting. Seeing us desperately trying to reenact something without without knowing anything about it is just annoying.
Vad heter du?
Veslemaj.
Her name is Veslemaj. I like your necklace. Den var så fin. She has a really cool necklace on. I think it's horn. Är det horn? Ja, vi är på YouTube, men inte se det till någon. Okay, we won't tell anybody we're on YouTube. It's a secret. Det är någon som hilsar på dig. Hilsar ung viking. No, we got about 9 minutes left. So Greg is doing a leatherworking course apparently right now, so that's why he can't come, but he will join later. But they love your story, by the way. Lots of people are loving the story. So you have no choice. You
have no idea how many details I shaved off on this.
Oh, but that means we have lots more to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. So what do we do next week? It'll be Friday next week, isn't it? What's the date on Friday? I have to check a calendar. I love it when it says Face ID. It can't find me.
You're wearing a hat you don't want to usually wear.
No, that's true. Okay, so Friday is... Yeah, the next one. No, the next one's July 2nd, so that would be Saturday, July 3rd then. Because we're switching to Saturdays in July.
We have this
Oh, Mike, ta den för den är helt våt.
I write things down so I don't have to remember them.
No, I think it's July 3rd. Saturday anyway. Nej, ja, men det må du ikke, for da går det regn opp i det skjermen i tastaturen. She wants to move my I'm using it as a cover for the rain on the computer, so if she moves it. Okay, are we complaining about the weather? How hot is it then? Here it is 34 degrees. Well, that's too hot.
It was too hot on my second guiding today.
Yeah. Oh God, how many guidings did you do today?
I don't think I did more than 3, but the second one of them was around 1 o'clock.
I do have a little tip though.
And then it was way too hot.
You're wearing a hat. You say that it's cooler wearing the hat.
Yes, it is.
It's made out of wool.
Yep.
This is a wool tunic.
Yes.
And you have another shirt underneath that.
Uh-huh.
Do you see a... Don't lose your crown. I made you a holy person.
I tried to do one guiding in sunshine without the hat, and I'm never doing that again.
No, but what about the tunic then? You should switch to linen. Oh,
Yeah,
there's more
that's-
Vikings down there too. Yep.
They are multiplying.
The Vikings are multiplying. We've got Vikings. No, we got chills. They're multiplying. How do you say that? We got fighters. They're multiplying.
I'm assuming those are some of them.
Yep. The reason we're up here is so they can put up their tents down there. So we've got fighters. I did on Viking Valley.no. I did put up a photo of the Glima guys. Glima is Norse wrestling. I looked it up on Wikipedia, so it has to be true. You're not losing your crown, right?
Maybe you should make a crown that actually fit my head.
I didn't know you were such a fathead. Curious to know, Andrea wants to know what you're going to do with her as a freeman. What do we want? And Andrea, Julie, what are we going to do with her as a freeman? Last year she was combing all my wool for me.
Yeah, this sounds like your problem.
Yeah.
I am always happy for all the help I get on activities, but the freeman, the primary function is to basically just show off things to the tourists.
So your textiles, you can do needle binding, or you're going to be learning tablet weaving, so that's a good thing too. So you can always try to do that and talk about it as you go. We'll just make you scrub toilets. No, we're not going to do that. Not when you're here as Not unless we absolutely have to. No. We usually demonstrating or kids games or kids activities, or there's a lot of different things. But I know you know how to needle bind, and I know you know how to comb wool, or we could do lots of different activities. We will figure something out. Otherwise, Karl will abuse you. No. Hey. Let's see. She says, okay, great. I'm happy to show out fabric things. Yes. If it's Viking related, by all means you can. They're going to turn into Vikings soon. They just got here. Okay, this makes my face look really big.
So you take this.
Then you take that.
Put that back.
There we go. I make this look good. This is such a dorky thing I made you. But did you notice it has a tail? Love to be there and stay. Yes, you guys definitely need to come. As soon as we let you in the country, you have to come. And what else do I have? We missed up. Have you my plans for next year? It is a look. I make this look good. I especially like that I left in the roots. So what? Maybe this one has to go. What should we do next week? More kings?
I have already talked about all the ones that are in our time bracket.
No.
There are some interesting guys right after this, but I think we'll stick to the Viking Age and rather go more into detail about these guys.
Yeah, we can do that.
One thing I want to do, but I need an excuse to read up on him, is to go in depth about an Icelandic poet and a serial killer called Egil Skallagrimsson.
Ooh!
He's a very interesting character.
If you think he's interesting, then I'll believe it. It told me to wrap my ponytail around the tail, so I did that. Now it's sticking out, and I look a little bit closer to Pippi the Viking. And I need some flowers, but we don't really have any flowers up this far. Karl, if you loved me, you'd give me...
I'm getting some serious Children of the Corn Stephen King vibes from you right now.
Mm-hmm. This is what happens when I can't needle bind. I don't know what to do with myself.
Why didn't you bring needle binding?
I did, but it's soaking wet now and covering a computer.
Damn it.
Nah. What else did we do this week? We had vacation. Oh, I went and got my kids. So I have mini Vikings here, which we saw earlier. They're back. So, and then you played computer games.
Yes,
You're on Conan again. You're back to the wee game because Conan Exiles. Conan. Well, it's got the penis. It's the penis game because Conan Exiles is anatomically correct in Europe. So it's the penis game because until you clothe them, it's just flopping there. It's a computer game. Yes, Karl has to go to the flower store. They all think you need to buy me flowers. No. They'll be dead by this time next week. I'm so sorry.
I buy her iced coffee when I'm trying to be romantic.
He does. Salted caramel flavored, so he won't touch it. Lactose free even. Did you know that? I didn't know that the salted caramel one was lactose free.
No, I didn't.
Because we had one that was intentionally lactose free over the whole thing. We thought it tasted like crap.
Yeah, that's it. Why should I even bother?
No.
You have something that basically is coffee and milk, and then you make it lactose and caffeine free. So, why don't you just drink water? You morons.
We have a slight coffee addiction here. You thought it was a peacock. Yeah, that's about right. No, anyway, so we have 1 minute. We should probably get going tomorrow, and Sunday you and I are on Heygo. I can type that now that it's not so much raining anymore. Look at all the water. No, my keyboard looks fine, so it should be good. Heygo.com. Look up Gudvangen tours in locations. Anyway, and you can book and come to one of those, and you can see it's mostly Karl doing the talking and me throwing him under the bus and interrupting until he gives me dirty looks. Show me the look. Yeah, show them the look. That's not trying to be sexy. He's just mad. So you can see the tour. It is free to register and tip-based. So You should come and see us. There you go. Prude has got a link. So you can come and see us tomorrow. I think it's about 7 or 8 o'clock on both days anyway. Where are we going to do? Have you thought about what we're going to talk about tomorrow?
Of course not.
Of course not. But usually it's a sampler one. So it'll like probably include boats or weapons or textiles. One of the three gods. One of those three. But we put like three in. We put three
We
in
have
together.
to use Georg one of these days. So I can talk to him and see if he is interested in playing with us.
And we did ask the silversmith guy to come up, but we didn't get confirmation if he was here on Saturday. So we will
But
figure it
he needs to confirm that pretty quickly, or we have to go in another direction.
We will find something. Is there evidence of Vikings wearing linen as top layer in Finnish Iron Age? It is considered to be underwear only worn as protection from one's own home. And then will I do those types of guides? No, you have to go through rigorous passing of online guiding for that one, so you're a little lucky there. But we might, we could always feature you. Kill them or something. We always need somebody to kill when you do weapons.
Who? What now?
Albert wants to know.
Yes, maybe, but at least for Amazon, you have to jump through like 7 hoops.
Yeah, Amazon Explorer. We also do tours on there, but those are pay tours. They're like VIP guiding, and it's only available to US. But that's when you have the user in your ear and you can hear them.
That might expand any moment.
Yay! We hope so. Linen, as far as I know, if this was linen underneath the sark or the underdress, I forget what it was called. Was it called a sark in English too? Anyway, if I was wearing that without the apron dress on top, then it would be my underwear.
Well, I don't know about the fines, but the problem is that you rarely find a Viking with clothes in a natural state. So basically an accidental death or something like that.
Yeah.
So what you find are people partying up, so to speak. They are expecting to go to the gods. And this is one of the reasons that we have all these debates about Viking cold weather clothing, because we have basically no finds of it. We are still arguing back and forth on whether or not they used pelts or not.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big discussion.
But it's kind of because when we find Viking clothes, it's generally in graves. And the way I see it is that the Vikings would expect the gods to be paying their bloody heating bill. So the Vikings wouldn't send them there in cold weather clothing. They're not expecting them to freeze. They're expecting them to sit in a hall with a big fire and lots of food.
Well, there we got some.
I would say that logically, if you can afford a linen shirt or even a silk shirt, which is probably some people had at least.
That's expensive though.
Oh, yes. But you would also have some people that are super rich. Take Olav Tryggvason, who plundered the English mint.
Yeah.
That guy could certainly afford a silk shirt if he wanted to. It's just the odds of actually finding any remains of something like that is small in the extreme. But if you had something like that and it's a warm summer day, you wouldn't insist on wearing wool outside of it just to not show it off.
No.
The Vikings are pretty shameless show-offs when it comes to most things, so...
We could do that too. Okay, so we're not going to run out of anything to talk about next week, I promise. Yes, and everybody always wears their best clothes in the graves. I agree with that one. People do that now too. You don't ever see them putting them in the graves in a t-shirt and jean shorts, cutoffs.
Yeah, no, I'm considering to write in my last will and testament that I want to be buried with boxing gloves in the night gown, just to confuse future archaeologists.
Yes, you should be able to grow woad in Minnesota because it survives here in Norway. It's actually native to Norway as well. Okay, so we're gonna ditch you. We're gonna see you on Saturday, and you're gonna come and play with me because you don't want to leave me all by myself. I might cause destruction.
Yeah, it depends. If you have time Vikings to play with, I might decide to use my time for something else.
We could kill some. Yeah, we could kill some people. That's always fun.
So
if we needed,
if you just sit there sadly talking to your computer, I'll come and keep you company.
Okay, help me look sad and pathetic, guys. That's all right. We're gonna leave because we're now on 4 minutes overtime. Do deer and other animals like to eat woad? I think yes. Our sheep love it.
The sheep murders it every time. We've never managed to grow a woad plant for more than almost a year. That's the record.
No.
Sooner or later, the sheep will just headbutt their way out of their enclosure, and then they zoom in straight for the woad. They might stop on the way to kill one of Georg's favorite trees, but the woad is the main target.
It's so hard to be a Viking. Okay, we're gonna go because I got a lot of people I need to check in now. Yep, see you soon, all of you. Okay,
Bye.
bye. No, not edit, exit, cancel, end stream. I can do this. End.